vevevolt's channel, link to his channel. If for whatever reason you're just day one or whatever, go over there, subscribe. If you're here on day two, you probably already subscribed. All right. So let's get ahead and get started. First question is, where were your grandparents born?
Man, I have no idea. No. Actually, my grandma on my mom's side was born in Alabama. But besides that, I don't know where my father's parents were born, and I don't know where my maternal grandfather was born.
Okay. So now what about your parents?
My mom was also Alabama, and it's possible that my grandfather on her side was Alabama. And then my father was born in New Albany, Indiana, which is pretty close to where I live.
Okay, that's what's up. And that's okay. So you're in Alabama.
No, that's where they're from. I live in Southern Indiana. That's where I was born.
Okay, got you. Okay, so you were born in Southern Indiana, and then where do you stay now? I mean, you don't got to tell me your address or anything, but just like a state.
I'm still here in Southern Indiana.
That's what's up. Okay. I you know what? That's a state I've never been to, man. I gotta. It's on the list. It's on the list for sure.
You ain't missing nothing, I promise you. Corn and cows. That's about all we got.
Hey, man, I love corn. So, by the way, this is open forum. Drop any questions in the chat that you may want us to ask vevevolt. So it's open forum, super chill, laid back. That's how we do. That's how we get down right here. So, okay, as a kid, you're there, chilling, growing up. Talk to me. What kind of cartoons did you watch?
Oh man, I love those Saturday morning cartoons. And the one I remember the most, and it only came on every once in a while, and it seems like nobody I've ever talked to ever remembers it, but it was like there was some competition on Saturday morning where all the cartoon characters from all the shows would come together and compete in like track and field and events and stuff. Did anybody see that?
What, the Looney Tunes?
Yeah, it was like Looney Tunes and stuff. But it was all the different characters from all
like
the
Olympics
shows.
or something. Yeah, it was the like Looney Tune Olympics or something.
Yeah, that was my favorite. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff I watch. Saturday morning cartoons, a little bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers. I'm old.
Nah, man. I feel that I'm old, man. It's all good. Man,
if you would have heard our answers, we would have sounded real old. We were saying what? Looney Tunes, G.I. Joe, Voltron. We were in the mid '80s with our stuff, man.
Hell yeah.
So what would you say were your favorite movies growing up?
Favorite movies growing up? Oh man, I was huge on Back to the Future. That was my favorite for real. Like the trilogy, I still think that's the best trilogy ever made. And I was big into like superhero movies back then. Not so much anymore. And besides the last couple of weeks. Before that, I hadn't watched. That's why I had to catch up. It took a while. I hadn't watched one for a while. But when I was a kid, when I was younger, they first started coming out. I liked them a lot. Yeah, like Iron Man and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, man. And okay, so what about toys? Like what? Oh wait. Yeah, what kind of toys did you have when you were growing up?
I mean, I don't want y'all to laugh, but I played Atari.
We all did too.
I was playing Pitfall, man. Pitfall was my game.
We were just talking about Pitfall, Frogger, all the originals.
Pitfall. I remember one of my friends had a Nintendo, and I thought that was like some high tech. It was a year before he had it. A year before I did. I remember going over there and playing Mario every once in a while. I thought it was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Right.
That's what's up. That's funny. You said Pitfall. So okay, so give me your top 3 video games. It doesn't matter the system, the year, any of that. I'm curious now.
It's definitely Super Tecmo Bowl on the top of the list.
Okay.
Number 2 is also a football game. Y'all might not know this one. I'm trying to remember the console. I think it's Sega Genesis. It's Deion Sanders' primetime football. That was like the best football game ever made. And then another one is on Super Nintendo, the best wrestling game ever made, WCW versus NWO.
Okay.
That was a great game.
Yeah, that game was well made.
That was in the 90s, wasn't it? Mid 90s?
Yep, yeah. 90s.
I remember that one.
Old school stuff.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. So, all right. So when you were a kid, you had your Atari, you started playing Nintendo, cartoons and stuff. So what was like the first thing that you could say that you started collecting? I don't know if it was, that far back, but what was the first thing that you said, nah, I need to hold on to this, cherish this, take care of it?
It was actually baseball cards because my mom had a boyfriend. He brought us a bunch of baseball cards. They're really good ones too. And after I got those, I started to get more interested in that. And he showed me the baseball card shop in town. And I started hanging out there every once in a while, riding my bicycle down there. I would like arrange the cards for the guy. The owner was an old man and he was real nice. And he would pay me with baseball cards. So I got into that pretty quick.
Oh, that's dope.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, that is dope.
And what is that? That was in the going into the late 90s.
I mean, I can remember. I can picture the first cards I got too, and those were 1980. I don't even. Y'all sure remember to say 1989 tops or 1988 tops? I think it was 89.
So late 80s.
Yep, late 80s.
Okay, so like the height of
Junk
baseball
era.
card collecting.
Yeah, when they were printing millions and millions.
Yeah, but I mean that job is a dream job. I'm just putting myself in your shoes.
Oh,
like,
forget it.
oh my God, what a dream job
down there. And actually, like I said, it was an old man that owned the local baseball car shop, and it was a real small shop. And I would ride my I'd ride my bike down there all the time when I was a kid. But after college, I ended up moving down the street in an apartment a couple blocks down. I'd go down and visit him, and he said all the high school kids would steal from him. So he ended up hiring me part-time. I had a full-time job. I would come there on the weekends and like after work and stuff and help him out. And again, he still paid me in baseball cards, but I learned so much from that. It actually ended up paying off later on when I was buying cards for profit.
Absolutely.
Very dope. Very dope. That is an awesome idea. For any young kid that can't afford to pay for cards, just get a job doing that, man. Super dope. Yep. By the way, in the chat, we have a few questions, so let's go ahead and ask them. And by the way, chat, like the video, and if for whatever reason you're not subscribed to vevenft, go ahead. It's linked it's pinned to the top of the chat. So we got a question in the chat saying, what IP are you guys most looking forward to? We're gonna direct this only to vevenft.
I'd always say this one, and people say it's probably never going to happen, but I still say it anyway because it's what I would love, and that's the MLB Hall of Fame or any of the sports Hall of Fame IPs, to where you can get like the Hall of Fame players, maybe statues or plaques or something of them, where it's like almost like collecting baseball cards.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we spoke about that. That is a super dope idea.
That same exact idea.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
And then
y'all said that. I ain't trying to steal your ideas,
bro. By the way. And so original MR Mertz.
Yeah, it's Mertz.
Yeah, what is the vocal range of Volt's roar?
Man, I can go low. I can go low with the roar, but I can't go high pitch with it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so speaking of baseball cards, the card, every time I have a live, I have a physical collectible of the night. And since, I know we were going to show some vintage, I wanted to go and show tonight's card is an original Cy Young card. You can see it's the old school cigarette tea card. It's an oldie. It's an oldie. It's not in mint condition, obviously, but it's in decent condition. So that's tonight's card of the night. So
what's that worth, man? That's an awesome card.
Yeah, it's a few grand.
2206.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the condition is good. It's good centering and everything.
Yeah. It's I have it in a penny sleeve here. You can see it's kind of faded in the back though.
Yeah, it still looks pretty good. I'll be honest. I like it.
Yeah, man. Thanks, bro. So you have some cards with you. I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, you guys said you collect cards, so I told you I'd pull my box out for you if you wanted to see some. I mean, it's whatever you want to, however you want to go, what direction you want to go in.
What do you guys think? You guys want to look at some cards right now or ask a few more questions?
Why don't we look at cards while we're asking a few more questions?
Okay, let's look at some cards right now. I like the idea.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this one up slowly while y'all are asking questions. This is one I sent off to PSA to get authenticated. If you know who Pee Wee Reese is, he wrote a message on here and it has all his stats. So I'll show you guys while you're talking if I can get to. So I have to where you can see it.
Oh, very
awesome.
Dope.
This on an index card. So I had purchased a shoebox full of index cards from a guy really cheaply, and they had like a Roger Maris in there that sold for $345, but this was also in there.
Very dope. Very dope. That's a nice, very nice. And by
Yeah.
the way, another question came in the chat saying, Richard R., if vevevolt had a singer perform his roar, who would he want to sign represent the roar?
Man, I got to give a shout out to my homie Random Hero and say Axl Rose.
That's it right there, bro.
You could probably do it too. It'd be a little high pitched, but he'd do it.
Okay, another question in the chat from the biggest bro. What NFT first appearance will be worth more, Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat?
I'm gonna go with
Street
Mortal
Fighter
Kombat.
for sure.
Nah, Scorpion. Scorpion
I would
wins.
say Street Fighter.
Scorpion was my dude playing Mortal Kombat.
Damn, man, I
Chun-Li,
lost
I mean,
the fucking
Who's the main guy in Street Fighter? Blanca, Chun-Li?
You had Ryu, you had Ken, Guile,
Yeah,
Blanca, like you said. I mean, Street Fighter came out first.
That's true.
So, man, that's tough. You know what? Let's all do a vote. I'm gonna vote Street Fighter. vevevolt, who do you say?
I'm going Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. So it's split. Who do you say, Strange?
that's really hard, but I'll go with Mortal Kombat just because they're more relevant to the point where they even have current movies still being made. So I think the IP's a little bigger.
That's true. Good point. Good point. What about you, Eddie? Is it 3-1?
I would say Street Fighter, but personally, I would rather it be Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Mortal Kombat wins. We're gonna give it to Mortal Kombat. I remember walking to the pizzeria to play Street Fighter, man. It's just I mean, both games are phenomenal. But you're right. The movie wasn't even that bad that came out not too long ago. So all right. So speaking of movies and whatnot, let's go with shows. What shows were your favorite when you were growing up, or even now? Give me the 3 favorite shows of all time, series type things. No cartoons, shows.
The best TV show ever made is Heroes Season 1. That is just
that was dope.
Oh my goodness.
That was good.
And I'm kind of into reality show. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I like Big Brother a lot. Sometimes I'll binge on Big Brother, if you know what that is, and Survivor too. Big Brother and Survivor both.
Yeah.
Very dope. Very dope. Yeah, man. Okay, so you all right. So was that 3? You said Heroes, Big Brother, and
Survivor.
That's right. Okay. Heroes was good. I remember that first the last episode I don't want to, I mean, that's so old, but yeah, I remember how it ended with the explosion, whatnot, when he explodes or whatever. And I was like, oh man, what's happening? I remember I was super addicted. So yeah, man, I like that one.
And then they killed it in season 4, and it was just the last season was so horrible.
Yeah, man. I stopped, I think, after 2.
Yeah. You probably stopped at the perfect time.
I have the Heroes trading card set.
Nice.
No way.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with it.
Hold on to it. Hodl.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hold on to it.
Yeah, man.
So my question is, let's still stick to when you was a little young lad. What were like the first things that you felt like you needed to collect, like you really had a passion for?
Man, it was let me see. It was like it was probably Pete Rose cards, because I mean, it really was baseball cards was the only thing I collected. My brother collected comics. He likes to go in the opposite direction, whatever I do. So once I started collecting baseball cards, he started collecting comic books. So I kind of zeroed in on baseball cards. And then I went towards like a particular player, and I liked Pete Rose a lot. And I always thought he was going to be in the Hall of Fame. That didn't work out too well for me. But
he'll get in soon.
I think he should too. I mean, they'll wait till he dies, which is stupid.
Yeah,
but,
right. Yep.
But yeah, I collected a bunch of Pete Rose, and I kind of like to focus on certain players that I like a lot and go after their cards. And then when I got older and had more money, it was Roberto Clemente was my favorite player. So I started collecting his cards.
That's a good one to collect.
Yeah, I like Clemente. He was the man.
Yep. Yes, he was.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. So do you have a card to show vevevolt?
Let me show you my best card. How about my best card? Unfortunately, like I had told you guys before the stream started, I recently sold my collection of 200 1958 Topps autographed cards. and I had a Hank Aaron in there, and that was my best card. But I wanted to trade in some of my physical collectibles to invest more into digital collectibles. So that's one that I sold. But one I still own is, you guys probably don't know this guy. He's the most underrated Hall of Fame player in the history of baseball. He's in the Hall of Fame. He was the leadoff hitter for the 1927 Yankees, which a lot of people say is the best baseball team of all time. His name's Earl Combs, and he passed away like in 76 before I was born. And his autograph was really hard to get because the last few years of his life, his wife signed for him, and his wife had noticeably different autographs. So whenever people try to get those authenticated, they fell. And it's one of my, I guess my best one that I have right now. It's authenticated, so that helps.
Man, super dope.
Yes,
super dope. Yeah, I did hear about that.
He was in the 1927 Yankees, so most people think of like Babe Ruth and Lou Gehrig, and they don't really think about him. But he was batting like 350 for 10 years. He had the most home runs ever in World Series, because every time a World Series came by, he was like hitting like 400 every time. He was a killer.
Dang, bro, that's what's up. That is definitely a unique one, and the fact that it's graded, and so it's that much more. Because if it's not authentic, I mean, if it's not graded, people are gonna question whether or not it's authentic.
That's true. And I'm actually in the whole community of the TTM, which is like autograph, and TTM stands for through the mail. And when I saw those that collection of 200 1958 Topps cards, only the Hank Aaron was authenticated, and I think one other, maybe Gil Hodges, and the rest were not. But I'm so well known in that community. I've been in there so long that the guys know me, and they know my collection, and they know everything's authentic. So it wasn't even a question about it. He didn't even look at the cards. He just said, he looked at a couple of them, and he said he knew my collection was good, and I sent it over, even though they weren't authenticated,
Wow. Well, speaking of Pete Rose, I want to show
Let's go.
A Pete Rose autograph, BGS grade. The autograph got a nice 10 on it.
Nice.
Yeah, man, Pete Rose. I do agree that he should be going into the Hall of Fame. We make mistakes, man. He didn't. I think I would vote yes. Go to the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Yep.
He's deserving. Okay, so a question in the chat. By the way, chat. Link, it's pinned, the link to vevevolt's channel. If for whatever reason you're not subbed, go ahead, it's pinned there. Go sub and hurry back. You don't want to miss any of this juice, man. This is gonna be crazy right here. So a question that came in, and like the video. Where is it? I lost it. There it is. What was the thing that sold you on Veve? The biggest bros asking. What was the thing that sold you on Veve when you were like, yeah, this is it?
First out, shout out to the biggest bro. That's my homie. He's got his own YouTube channel. And sorry, the guys, I don't know why I'm a little blurry today. I have it zoomed out. But the thing that sold me on Veve, because I had already bought Only tokens, and people were telling me in the Facebook groups to buy the NFTs, and I wasn't really down to do that because, of course, you can't get the money back out. But then I found Bud Thompson, and at the time, Bud Thompson's spreadsheet was all eBay prices, and I found Crypto Pro, and he was also selling his Veve NFTs on eBay. And I'd been doing eBay for like 10 years. I already had an eBay store, so that's what sold me on being able to pick these up. And if I didn't want to hold on to them, I could sell them on eBay with no problem.
Wow,
that's awesome. And do you get more on eBay than you would on Veve?
So how it works is, and I try to explain this to a few people, let's say you pick up a 1939 comic, and it's not Marvel #1, but 1939 is the first year that Marvel made comics, and that's what gives it the extra value. And you can't explain that when you're selling it in the market on Veve, but if you put it on eBay, you can put that information in the description and the title and explain why that serial number is more valuable, and it might sell easier that way.
Okay.
So are you saying that selling in eBay is still a thing?
That I don't know, because they added a new thing where you had to have the NFT's address to sell on there. And I know that people will still sell in different categories and not use the word NFT so that prompt doesn't come up. But since we don't have the addresses yet for ours, I don't know that you can sell Veve NFTs on there anymore like we used to be able to. And I haven't done it in a long time. So I'd have to go in there and look.
Okay. Do you have another card that you would like to share?
Man, I got cards all day. See,
man, let's see another one.
So what I collect is autographed vintage cards. And like I said, TTM stands for through the mail. And I'll send a lot of them off to the players to get signed myself. and they might charge like $10, but it adds like $100 of value to the card. And what I like to do is get the multi-signed one. So if you have like a league leaders card with 3 or 4 players, it's harder to send it to every single player to get it signed. And I have a lot of those. This one is one of my 68s. It's got Fergie Jenkins. He's a Hall of Famer. It's got Jim Bunning, former senator and Hall of Famer on it. And all 4 of the guys have signed.
Really nice.
I got a couple of those 68 multiplayer cards that are signed.
Super dope. Super dope. I love it.
I was gonna say I thought I was the only one with a box of index cards signed by by players.
Let's go. That looks just like my old box.
There's got to be there's definitely over 1,000 index cards in here, and there's a lot of old players. Like this is Ewald Pyle from the Brooklyn Dodgers.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff in here.
Yeah, man. Eddie's got like a crazy collection. So okay. All right. So we spoke about, a bunch of different subjects already. We even looking at baseball cards. Talk to me about movies, man. You're stranded on an island for the rest of your life. You only can watch 3 movies. And if you pick a movie that has parts, trilogy or whatever, several parts, that counts as one movie. Did we lose him?
Neither.
Oh yeah, we lost him. Okay, you know what? What I wanted to show, and I was gonna surprise you guys later on with was, the 4 of us here. We've got me. I'm Joe, just in case nobody knew, and that's Strange there, and that's Fast Eddie P, and that was vevevolt. Technical difficulties. He'll be back here in a second. Don't sweat it. But look. I wanted to get ahead, the 4 of us. I wanted to share Fantastic Four comic books, some, some that you may be recognized. And this one right here, this last one, Fantastic Four issue 50 is, the first appearance of Galactus and Silver Surfer 48. But this one, I was like, you know what? If I was going to assign a superhero to vevevolt, I would assign Silver Surfer. I don't know. I don't know. It seemed that he's
Silver Surfer's the man, bro.
Yo, I love Silver Surfer, man.
Yeah, he's the man.
Heck yeah, man. So it looks like he's reconnecting right now.